All right, so the NBA season is finally back tomorrow, and I cannot wait. I know it's been only a week. I understand. But that's a long time. And as much as I love college basketball, it's been great, catching up and just locking in other teams that aren't mine. But there's just something about a Hawks-Sixers game on a Thursday night that is just great for the soul. With there being only 25, 30 games left, I kind of just want to talk about some things that I'm going to be looking for, things that I'm noticing or just keep my eye on as we wrap up these last bit of games here. And obviously there's going to be some pretty uncompetitive games, and there's going to be a lot of not good basketball. But it's still good basketball, you know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a lot of great basketball. You just got to find the right stuff. But the first thing I was thinking about today was the Oklahoma City Thunder, and just if their lead in the West can be overtaken, because they only have a 3-game lead on the Spurs right now. They have, I think there's about 20, 27, 28 games left for them. In 3 games, like in theory, it seems pretty safe, especially with a team like that, but you never honestly know. And this is just a team that I'm not going to act like they're struggling. They're 42-14. They're still on top of the West. They're still the favorites in the NBA. But they haven't looked as good as they should, and a lot of that is injury. Obviously, Shea's been missing most of February. Isaiah Hartenstein's been hurt. J-Dub has been, in and out of the lineup and mostly out of it. A.J. Mitchell's missed pretty much the last month of basketball, so those are obviously 4 of their, top 7 players that have not been available consistently, and that's obviously a big detriment to them, which is making me think that, this lead's safe and they're probably going to be perfectly fine. But we've seen them be a little more vulnerable, even when they were fully healthy, like going against the Spurs, and the Spurs have kind of had their number this year. And that's also another thing that I've been thinking about recently is how much do regular season wins matter when you're thinking about the postseason setting? I don't know where I stand on that. I think they have to matter at least a little bit. But then again, does it? I don't know. Let me know. But this team is obviously not in the best spot right now, 5-5 in their last 10. But they're still the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I feel like once they get fully healthy and once they can just put their lineup back together that they're used to running, things are going to be a lot smoother for them. I feel like a big piece when they were struggling, we'll say, was missing Isaiah Hartenstein. That is such a big loss for them. He pretty much does everything. He's their finisher. He's, he closes out possessions for them. He's able to play make a little bit. He's, good in the roll. He's just overall active player, and just not having him, that's where I felt like they were really struggling. I like, as good of a player as Chet is, I don't think he can do it all alone. And it just did not look good, but I think he's going to be coming back pretty healthy. And, once you get Shea back inserted in there, you should pretty much almost guarantee a win on most nights. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly worried with this team. They just feel more vulnerable, and that's not the worst thing in the world. They just won the championship last year. They don't have to be these world beaters. But another thing I was thinking about today was just the Eastern Conference in general and just how much fun it's going to be. Firstly, you have the Hornets, who have the best starting lineup net rating in the entire NBA. I don't know how that's a real thing that I'm saying, but that's a true fact. And are they like I'll keep talking, but are they like the 7th seed right now? They have been absolutely it's a 9 seed, my fault. They're only 3 games away from the 7th seed. They're 9-1 their last 10. Loss was to the Pistons, But this is a team that they could play some competitive. They're not going to win a playoff series, I don't think, if they could make the play-in, but they could play a competitive series against the Pistons or against the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavs, whoever gets that 2 seed. And they're a team that really intrigues me because they have a lot of things to figure out. I mean, not exactly. They're going to be perfectly fine. They have everything they need, and they're still going to have their pick this year. And that's going to be worst case scenario, it's end of the lottery. Best case scenario, it's 18, 20. They're going to be able to get a good NBA player there, and I think that's going to be pretty valuable for them. But they have been awesome. I don't think I can say enough about the Hornets. I didn't think that LaMelo Ball would be able to be on this team when they were this good, if that makes sense. I thought that he was one of those players where the dynasty started after you, and obviously that's just not true. And it does help that Concacaf has blossomed into one of the best rookies in the entire NBA. Musa Diabate is a real NBA center. Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller is just awesome. Brandon Miller is one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA, and I will continue to die on that hill. That team is just really awesome. And then as you move up the standings a little bit, you have the Magic. What are they doing? Franz is out for an indefinite amount of time, and Paolo Banchero he's a good NBA player. But I think these next couple years, Paolo's going to need to get out of there. I think he needs to change the scenery, and I think he needs to find something better for him because I don't know. After the 2 years ago playoff series, it's not very pretty. It's not. They have so much money tied up in these three guys, in Suggs, Paolo, and Franz, and they really just like don't know what they have. And Bane too. They have so much money tied up into those four guys, and they just don't really know what they have. They bought in this offseason thinking that, yeah, we have one of the best defenses in the entire NBA. We add a high volume 3-point shooter. That was our biggest red flag, and then they come in and they're still the same as they were before, if not worse, and it's just not what they wanted. And I feel like if you're the Magic, you kind of have to take that swing. I'm not gonna blame them for that. You already have Paolo and Franz locked up. You can take a shot, spend some first round picks, get one of the best shooters in the entire NBA. I think you do that. We'll say 8 times out. You don't do it 9 times out of 10, but you do it 8 times out of 10. And it just has not paid off. And a lot of that goes to health. These guys just can't stay on the floor together, and that's what happens sometimes. And you just gotta live with it. But I just don't like that team at all. I don't. If I'm picking between them, I think I'm picking Franz. But even like when I say it out loud, it sounds stupid. So I don't know. This is why. No, I could be an NBA GM. That shit's so easy. I don't care. But going up standings a little bit more, the Cavs. The Cavs are 9-1 in their last 10, and the James Harden minutes, the James Harden games, we'll say, have been so much fun. So much fun. I love James Harden's team. I was a really big Darius Garland guy, but there's just, I don't know if this is I was seeing the James Harden honeymoon. Is that a real thing? Maybe. But with James Harden's team, it just adds that extra, like, just punch to them. And it is making for some great basketball. Donovan Mitchell is good enough as a 1 to carry you to the NBA Finals. I know he hasn't done it. I know. But he's a good enough player to do it. He just needs... Okay, now I'm going to kind of backtrack the statement. He just needs these other guys to play as good. And, we have the James Harden playoff dropper allegations, but I'm not going to subscribe to those. I don't think they're real. Like last year, you look at it, Darius Garland was terrible in the playoffs. Evan Mobley really wasn't very good. And Jared Allen, he hasn't been good this year, so we can hope that he kicks it into gear when he gets in the playoffs. He has not been able to play like fourth quarters even. I don't know. And Evan Mobley, you can say he hasn't gotten better on offense the last couple of years, but that's just whatever. Who really cares? But the Cavs team is so much fun, and they're only, 2 games behind the 2 seed right now? Sorry, 2.5 games behind the 2 seed, and this was like a team that I was thinking like shit, dude, they might just be a 6 seed and just be perfectly fine. They're just chilling there. But they're not. And they're in this predicament where they have a chance to take the 2 seed. But they're going to have a lot of work to do because you have the Knicks, who also, great basketball team, but I don't really want to talk about the Knicks right now, so we're not going to. You have the Celtics also in front of them, who is really the main reason I wanted to make this video, because Jason Tatum might be playing basketball in the next couple of weeks. And depending on what version of Jason Tatum we get, the East could look a whole lot scarier come April. You're going to have these top 4 teams that could all easily make the NBA championship. And what if Jason Tatum comes back and plays, let's say 75% of Jason Tatum, they're the best team in the East. I think they overtake the Pistons if Jason Tatum is 75% of himself. I don't have, oh my God, I can't speak. I don't have documentation that said this, but I said when Jason Tatum tore his Achilles last year that he was gonna have like a Kevin Durant arc where he goes from like the most hated, like the most beloved. Not looking good right now for Kevin Durant, but I'm just saying, like, that arc of like he was like Jason Tatum was the most disrespected and most hated superstar in the entire league. And once he tore his Achilles, people started coming, maybe this Jason Tatum guy is pretty underrated. Maybe he actually is really good at basketball. Maybe he's one of the best players in the entire league, right? That's kind of the thing that is going on with him right now. And I feel like if they add Jason Tatum to this team with how good Jaylen Brown's been playing, you obviously have Vucevic now. You have these like glue guys and Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez, and you add Jason Tatum in the mix. They're my favorite out east. As much as I love the wrong side. Oh shit. All right. No. As much as I love those guys, they're gonna be my favorite in the East, and it is just so interesting. I cannot believe it's been. I think he posted on Twitter. It was 40 weeks since he tore his Achilles. He's about to play NBA basketball and like get ready for a playoff run. That is absurd. I don't understand at all. I don't know if it's the right idea. Like, is it smart? Maybe. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. But that is just absolutely insane. I think the Celtics could be so dangerous. And then the Pistons. I know the Pistons are 40-13. Absurd. Insane. People are still asking the question, is it real? Like, how can we trust them in the playoffs? The answer is yes. The answer is just simply yes. I know we're going to point to the three-point shooting and be like, oh, they don't have enough. Who cares? They have one of the best rim protectors in the entire NBA in Isaiah Stewart. They have one of the best defense in the entire NBA. I think the second best defense. They have a top 8 player in Cade Cunningham, and this team just knows how to win games. They just know how to win. You look at the game, their last game before the All-Star break, where Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren were suspended. It didn't fucking matter. Paul Reed comes in the game, gives you some buckets. Isaac Jones, or no, not Isaac Jones, sorry. Tolu Smith was playing a couple minutes. What did he do? Not much, honestly, not much at all. But still, the point still stands. This team is built to win. And like I've said before, if anything will travel, it is that defense in the playoffs. It's that defense. And I don't know. I think I'm more excited for the Eastern Conference playoffs than the West. Maybe that's because my favorite teams in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and I really like watching them. But the East race is going to be so interesting to me, especially those top 4 teams. You could tell me any of them are in the finals in June, and I would believe you 100%. Out West, things are kind of weird too. Just briefly, I need to look at the standings one more time, but things are just getting kind of weird out there. Like, we have between the 7 and the 3 seed, it's 3 games right now. Like, I don't think the Suns are going to overtake anything, especially, I don't know. I don't see it. Then you have Timberwolves at 6, Lakers at 5, Rockets at 4, Nuggets at 3. And the Rockets, I'm really impressed with them. I feel like they were not looking good for a while, and they really handled that pretty well and got back up to where I think they should be. And then Nuggets, we'll see what they do with Jokic and Murray after the All-Star break, but things are not looking the best over there. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. This video didn't really have a purpose. I don't really have much else to say. My posts on YouTube. Muted my mic and accent. My posts on YouTube have not done that. Shout out Charlie for the recommendation, because he said people don't want to listen to these on TikTok. Fuck you, dude. But yeah, hope everybody enjoys the games tomorrow night. And if you stayed this long, I want you to comment your favorite Los Angeles Clippers player of all time. We'll just go Chris Paul. Can't think of anybody else right now. Chris Paul.